Daryll, for me, you've got a very impressive portfolio, and basically an entrepreneur from a very very young age and starting business at the age of 21, and starting numerous businesses. Daryll has been responsible for helping many big brands, and some of them CIMB, Cellcom, Nestle, Sunway Group, just to name a few, but the list goes on digital marketing and online positioning. So that has been, and again, numerous awards for supporting young entrepreneurs as well. So Daryll, you've come a long way.
Yeah,
Thank you
indeed.
for being here today. And here goes our question. So, a question that we've been getting, and I think this is a very, very crucial question as well. We're keen to know, but a lot of businesses are spending money online, and some people share such horror stories, Daryl, with how much money they're really spending online and how much they're really getting. And the conversation is always ROI. And in today's day and age, many businesses are so keen on how they stretch that dollar. And so today's question is, how do I optimize my budget? Meaning, if I'm spending $1, how do I stretch it? How do I get more out of less? So
Right.
that's a critical question.
This is a very hot topic, and of course,
Yeah.
when we talk about money, right, it's also sensitive, right? It's quite
Yeah.
subjective on how much different brands contribute on social media. I've seen individuals even contributing up to 1 million or 2 million after
Ooh.
1 year, 2 years. I know of brands contributing each day 1,005 ringgit every day. These are bigger brands, of course. And we work with smaller brands that contribute at least 5 to 10K a month. For example, right? So it's very different. It varies across objective. Again, if you go into budgeting for your performance marketing, what is called performance marketing, we look at the ad buying section. It really depends on how well you do your A/B testing. That's number one. To buy ads, there always needs to be A/B testing, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G testing. In that sense, it's just a term. But you say A/B testing, you just have different forms of testing. Yeah, maybe have one visual that's red, the other visual is green, one visual with hand, the other visual without hand, for example. So you do A/B testing. That's one way to really stretch your budget. The rule of thumb is that you actually do optimization on your ads every 3 days, once every 3 days. That's a good rule of thumb. So if you're running an ad for a month, for example, you would do every 3 days, one-time optimization. So when you do optimization on your ad, that will give you a sense of, we look at certain matrix, for example, in the 3 days, your cost per view on a video, your cost per click, your cost per acquisition, which ad is doing better. What you can do is you can pause your ads that are not doing so well, or you can delete your ads and then shift the budget to the one that is performing the best. Now, once you do a shift in budget, therefore it gives you a quick fact that, hey, that ad is doing well. Instead of spending 100 ringgit, 100 ringgit, 100 ringgit, you take this 200 ringgit and then you plot it back into the one that's doing the best, and therefore you got 300 ringgit extra running through the next 3 days of ads, right? So you would then
just a quick one on that. But if you move the budgets, the ad has to relearn the algorithm, right?
No, so because you're doing A/B testing, the ad that's already actively running already learns, in that sense, the audience, the interest, and all. You're already telling, after 3 days, you will know that, hey, this segment, this audience of professional stakeholders is doing the best for what I'm selling right now. Therefore, students, I don't need. Maybe mothers, I don't need. Right? Then you plot that budget up, so then you give a stretch with actual facts that you know that is doing better compared to the rest, right? So the other way of optimizing budget is that you need to understand that putting in money into Facebook and Instagram, we also need to put in a significant amount. right?
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry, I
right.
don't have shares in Facebook and Instagram. I'm not saying this because to earn, but you do
Yeah.
need a significant amount. Because when I was
Yes.
teaching a class even today early on the Digital Marketing 101, is that it's as simple as, for example, taking medicine for yourself as a paracetamol, for example. If you take a Panadol, I'm a big guy, and let's say I take half a Panadol for my headache, it will not work, right? It's still a Panadol, but I took
Mm.
half, right?
Mm.
It's the same. I need to take 2 Panadols for my headache to go away, right? Because of my mass. It's the same for budget. If we win 10 ringgit, it may not be optimized. It might not be the best versus a 50 ringgit or 100 ringgit per post. Again, because you want to put in enough budget for it to reach a certain mass, for it
Right.
to even make sense or develop some form of engagement within your community, right? So
Right.
it's really about playing about the right amount of budget as well, and that's the way that you can stretch it
Right.
to have better results.
Right. What would be a good budget for us to, be able to reach or would you say it's just very dependent on your audience? Are you targeting, 200,000 people or 1 million people? Is that it?
It's extremely subjective because I can be talking to a startup who probably has low capital or versus a big conglomerate MNC. So their small budget versus a startup small budget can be worlds apart, right? So it really depends again on your objective. It really depends on what kind of results you want to get. But my advice, especially to startups or SMEs, is that you focus on one or two of your lowest hanging revenues or income streams to help you generate quickly to see results as you run your performance marketing activities, because you want to find the best income stream, or the one that you are maybe a flagship program or flagship
Yep.
product that you want to start off with, and
Mm-hmm.
then you slowly go down the list on your other products or your other revenue streams, right?
Right.
So anywhere between, if you're talking about a post, you can start off playing, put in maybe 50 ringgit for 1 or 2 days, put in 100 for a week. Just play around with your budget. Like I say, as long as you A/B test and you look at it every 3 days
Every
minimum,
3 days.
right? Yeah, every 3 days once, and then it gives you a good idea of how your budget is being utilized. And in fact, sometimes nowadays you use the tools like Facebook and Instagram, or sometimes search like a Google Ads. You can actually use the dynamic ad placements to help you place certain ads in the most optimized manner. So you
Right.
can rely on those AI as well. Nowadays it's pretty advanced, so it does help in stretching your budget as well.
Right, fantastic. And is there a difference, like, in terms of effectiveness? I'm going to probably ask an obvious question. Is there a difference between Facebook and Insta in terms of the ad effectiveness?
Good question, because Facebook and Instagram are basically, they bought by the same company,
Same
right?
company.
So even your Facebook or your ad manager is under the same Facebook ad manager where you buy ads for Instagram as well. Again, back to the type of content relevancy and of course placements. There are many placements, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook itself. You got many types of ads that you can run with different objectives, right?
Right.
What I would suggest is that if you run a proper performance marketing campaign, is that you will have remarketing. Right? Because of remarketing, you can choose many different types of ads then to reserve your ads to people who have interacted with your first ads. Right? So if you watch a video and on the back end of the ad manager, you tell the ad manager, hey, for those people who watched the first video, please serve them this second video and offer them a 25% discount, for example. So by doing that, I think you can fully optimize and leverage on the different features or different styles of advertisements throughout Facebook and Instagram.
Fantastic. Oh, and can I do remarketing on Instagram as well?
Yeah, totally. So you can do it on both sides as well. Yes.
Fantastic. And when we talk about remarketing, I suppose it's us being more intentional with the flow of the campaigns, instead of just every 100 ringgit a week. I'm just hammering a new target, but I'm perhaps doing getting my videos to go out a bit further, and then I go into another campaign where people have watched the video. So I'm intentional with the quality of the leads as well, and that
Correct.
could be very that could be better in stretching the dollar.
Correct, because you're training. You see, you're training also the ads manager. You're training the audience type, the lookalike, the custom audience. You tell the manager that, hey, I want more audience like that because they're buying my product. Serve me more audience like that. So you would rely on the AI or Facebook or Instagram or even Google to help you out in those areas.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. So from the top, you talked to us about A/B testing. I think that's one of the things a lot of campaign generators just don't do. Is like, and you talk about A, B, C, D, E, F, because the
Right.
more that you're testing, and a very good practice is to optimize every 3 days. So I think that's amazing as well. Just keeping an eye. I think a lot of time our budgets just explode because we're not monitoring. We just flick on the campaign and we just let it run, and
Yeah.
before we know it, 10 grand has gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Correct.
something a lot of people face as well, unless
Yeah.
they're working with agencies and they have that being
Yeah.
working for us, but
Correct.
otherwise, if we're doing it on our own, it's going to be really challenging.
It can be a full-time job. It is a full-time activity, running ads. Yeah.
Totally, totally. And I like your analogy with the budget, because I think for a lot of SMEs, they're just trying it out. So it's very unintentional. They're not sure what to expect with Facebook, Instagram when they promote on social media, but you've got to have a deep enough budget. I think
Yeah.
that's something that I'm taking away from what you're saying, but you're being very intentional as well.
Very intentional. Correct. That's right. That's right.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Daryll, for this session. I think it's really useful to all of us, whether we're SMEs or bigger brands. We're all just trying to stretch that dollar to just make it bang harder, and leverage harder as well. And so, for me, I think this is a very, very powerful segment. So thank you very much for
No problem.
for being here
No
with
problem.
us.
Thank you.